So one of my favorite things about our relationship is what actually just happened a few seconds ago, which is something popped into your mind that you'd
Yeah,
forgotten about. Because I feel like when I ask you, I'll think of someone or I'll think of some event, and I'll go, "Oh, did you ever meet this person? Does this ever happen?" And you always have, a crazy story. Like when Jimmy Carter died, I texted you and I said, "Hey, did you ever meet Jimmy Carter?" And you said, "Oh, I sure did. We were in China together."
yeah,
So your life's absurd.
yeah. That was in 1979. Nike had gave myself, Bill Foster, who was the coach at Clemson at that time, and Eddie Sutton. Uh, Nike sent us to China to do basketball clinics, and at that time, uh, China was a communist country. Uh, Beijing didn't exist; it was Peking, and so we started out the clinics in Shanghai, and it was a little bit challenging because you couldn't get a really good rhythm going in the teaching because you'd have to stop for the person to translate the information. But they put us up at a place in Shanghai called a Jingjiang Hotel, which is still there now, and it was Carter and Nixon both had meetings with the Chinese government at that hotel. And so one day we come back from doing the clinic, and when we walk into the lobby, three gentlemen approach us, shirt and tie, and so forth. And the one guy shows his badge. He's from the Secret Service, and he said that, "Hey, we're going to have to move you guys off that floor to another place in the hotel, and but the rooms will be better," and so forth. He says, and we asked him, why did we have to move? And he said, well, President Carter's coming tomorrow, and he's going to be on the floor above that, and we can't have anybody on the floor right directly under him, and so forth. And so they moved us, and then Jimmy Carter came to town, and when the Secret Service guys introduced us to him, and he thanked us, him and his wife. Oh, what? Yeah, you couldn't meet a nicer person than him or his wife, and he thanked us for switching the floors and so forth. And then he was having a luncheon at the U.S. Embassy, and he invited us to the luncheon, and we showed up. And what first thing that amazed me was he remembered each one of our names and addressed us by our name and so forth. And I have a picture at home of him standing next to his wife eating a piece of cake at that same luncheon and that. But little did I know that many years later, I would look back and realize I played an interesting piece of history. The other thing
Wait, what, interesting thing of history. Why?
well, because first of all, on that same trip, we end up the trip in Beijing, and sorry, in Peking, and we get to Peking, and we're doing the clinics, and we also the tour guide and our interpreter took us down to Tiananmen Square, uh, and we go down to Tiananmen Square, and we're taking pictures and so forth, and the crowd starts to gather around us, people just staring at us and so forth, and an elderly gentleman steps out of the crowd, and he picks up my hand, and he goes like that, and Bill, I remember Bill Foster's wife was highly insulted, and I said, no, no, I get it. He's never seen a black person before in his life, and he thinks that this is paint.
Yeah.
And he was rubbing to see if what. But I'll never forget that in my life. He just stepped out of the crowd, picked up my hand, and then I realized the next few weeks when I would think about it, I said, God, I never thought about the fact that there's a lot of people who've never seen a black person in their life.